Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining episode number 1 of the Last Hail Mary podcast with your host, David Douglas. Today we have special guest John Pucillo, who is the founder of the 513 Storm Chasing and a 13-year veteran of the United States Navy. John, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit to the crowd?
I suppose I could do that. Hey everybody, my name's John Pucillo, and as Dave said, I am doing the 513 Storm Chasing, and I did spend 13 years in the Navy, going out protecting our nation. Great to be on. Thanks for having me, buddy, and looking forward to everything we're going to talk about.
I appreciate you coming, man. I know we've been talking about this for about 6 months, and I finally, after some things, I said it's time to pull the trigger and we got to get it done, got to get it going. So we're going to expand a little bit on your storm chasing and how you got it started, when you got it started, where you want to go with it. Where do you want to go with it?
So really where I want to go with it is, being able to get out more regularly and chase more storms, be in a position where, when we say storms, I'm really meaning tornadoes, high winds, like 75 plus mile per hour winds, things that are really going to impact people and alter their lives. And I want to be there in that immediate aftermath to provide assistance. So I'd like to get out and do it more and grow to the chance that I can do it more so that I can be there to try to help people. And it's also partially too, I've been a big fan of weather my entire life, ever since Twister. I saw it when I was a kid. I've just been enamored with the weather. I used to just watch the Weather Channel as a kid, and that's back when it was just like the radar, and all they talked about was weather. None of these programs they got now. So it dovetails that with, the sense of service that I kind of lost when I left the Navy, and, couple that together and being able to help people. That's where I want to go with it, and that's why I'm doing it.
You're doing it, and if I'm thinking correctly, you put yourself through a little course when it comes to learning these radars and things. What was that course, and how do people do it?
The course you're talking about, it's the Skywarn Spotter course. There's multiple tiers. I did the introductory one. It's put on by the National Weather Service, and they basically teach you these are the characteristics to look for, and really it's more field reporting and understanding what you're looking at when you're looking at the storm. As far as radar and all that other stuff, I've learned that from other storm chasers and from guys like Ryan Hall, and some of the YouTube streamers and weather guys. That's how I learned to interpret radar and interpret models, so I can understand, make my own little forecasts. So the digital aspect of it, that was completely, self-taught through, doing it, and watching other storm chasers, in particular Brad Arnold, Brandon Kopic, Reed Timmer. Those are like that's my holy trinity right there.
Yeah.
Those three guys are great. For
you talk about
reasons.
them a lot.
Yeah,
I can tell you look up to them, and
yep.
You're trying to kind of do what they're doing, and I respect that. You got to have a path, and those guys have paved it.
Oh, big time.
You know what
big
I mean?
Time. Big time. Yep.
That's good. That's a good thing to go off of. When you have something to step your feet into another footstep, but and then you branch off, do your own thing a little bit, and you do that. Do you get on your speaker and you're talking to the crowd in a way that might not necessarily seem like you're a storm chaser, and it makes it fun?
Yeah.
I think that's important. You're doing your own thing.
It is.
You had a good footprint to follow, but you also are like a comedian out on the road doing the storm chasing. You're making it fun for people. Even though it's very dangerous, you're still finding a way to make it fun. And I think that's great, and I appreciate that.
I mean, I think you absolutely have to, because here's the thing. The people that watch storm chasers and stuff like this, they're either absolute weather nuts or they are scared for their lives of the weather. It's one of the two. And, to add some brevity in for the people that are scared, that might help them. That might be like, okay, this guy's like right in front of it. right in the path, and he's okay, he's fine, he's calm, he's having, he's relaxed, he's being himself. Maybe they can take a little bit of that, and it helps calm that anxiety, and allows them to process the situation better.
Yeah.
It's definitely a tactic that I learned from my time in the military. Um, Being able to, basically block out the anxiety, the stress of a situation. When you're in the trenches, when crap's hitting the fan, you got to be able to lock in, and that's kind of how I do it, is through trying, just being myself, a little bit of comedy, something funny, make people laugh.
You know, for anybody who doesn't know, John Storm chases in other states other than Ohio, and sometimes he'll come right by me. And I remember one day he was videoing, and he was driving down my road, and I was like, I'm gonna walk to the front yard. So I walked to the front yard, and I just waved at him like Forrest Gump.
This did happen. Yes,
It
that
did
was
not.
awesome.
It did not get recorded because there's a dead spot with internet right by my house.
It did.
It did
It
record.
did. Yeah. Like, oh, there's my buddy Dave Douglas driving by. I'm like, hell yeah.
I seen
was
him
cool.
coming. I was watching his video live
That was
with
last July.
513 storm chasing folks. Great coverage. He does a great job, and he makes it fun. Even though it's dangerous and we all need to get to our basement sometimes, he makes it fun out there risking his life. So 50513 storm chasing with John Pucillo. Great. You're great at it. You're gonna build at it, and I know you are because
Thanks.
you're a hard worker, and you love it. You love it.
I do.
And if you love things, you should go do it. That's what you should do.
No, absolutely. That's honestly one of the biggest things is, if there's something you love, go do it. Go find a way to do it. I mean, I know money's a thing, trying to get into hobbies and stuff like that, but there's always a way. There's always a way. Always a way. Regardless of money, regardless of anything, there's always a way to make happen what you want to make happen. And that's what I did with this.
There's always an opportunity. If you're a hardworking American out there just
Yeah.
trying to get through life and just enjoy yourself, because that's what we should be doing, I think it's important to sometimes, if you really love something, you can put certain things on the back burner and just say, I'm going to go do that thing I love. Sometimes that means a sacrifice of something.
Oh, it's always a trade-off.
But if you love it, go do it. Don't wait no longer.
No.
You just go do it, and that's what you did. And I look up to you for that.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. And hey, look, if you keep waiting, it's never going to happen, and life's going to pass you by. So seize the opportunity when you can. Always. Absolutely. That's how you have to live life.
You gotta do it.
That's how you get through life.
You cannot wait. Sometimes you have to wait, but you should be building towards
Yes.
that moment.
Yes.
It might seem like a while. Like for me to finally get this going, I was scared as hell to do it. And when you started storm chasing, it kind of opened my mind. Like, damn, he went and did it. It seemed like it was nothing. He just went and done it. And I was like, man, I got to do it, because I think I had my equipment before you had your equipment.
May have. I mean, I know we talked about it before. You had some of it for sure.
And
I think
you
you
know,
changed a
I
couple
was
things
scared.
since then.
I was scared to do it.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know how I would go about it, and I tried a couple things on my own to see how it was, and I wasn't happy with it, and it kind of put me down in the dumpster. And then some other things happened. You kept going out there. I was listening to your lives, and it kind of lit a fire under me. Like, I gotta finally do it. I want to do it. And now here we are. We're finally doing the first episode of
First one,
Life's
baby.
Hail Mary with your host, David Douglas, and special guest, John Pucillo. John, I appreciate you being here.
I appreciate you having me, man. And I'm really happy to get this going with you. I really am. I think this is going to be a thing. I think it's going to be great.
I want to do it because I want to do it, and I want to be able to bring some information to people that might not watch news
Yeah.
or do certain things where people are just so zoned in on one certain particular thing. Come find yourself somewhere where you can hear people just talking some opinion and some facts. Uh, but we're gonna do it on an opinion basis, and
Yeah.
I'm talking to people about my opinion and how I believe and what I think. If we have to get factual, we'll look it up and we'll talk about it in real time. We'll real time search and figure things out together. Um, but I want it to be something to where I can go enjoy myself, let loose a little bit. Maybe some folks can agree or not agree with me. Both. Some people are going to agree, some people are not, and that's
Absolutely.
okay. That's fine.
It is.
Um, and we should be open minded like that. It shouldn't even be close to. You should be able to disagree, and it's
Yeah.
fine. There's so many people I disagree with. I treat them like a human. I treat them fairly.
That's the only way. That's it.
Uh,
Sorry, real quick. The golden rule: treat people how you want to be treated. I mean, that's how we all have to live our lives. It
yeah.
doesn't matter. I mean, obviously, there's a few things that a person can do where I'm like, yeah, no, you're done.
Yeah.
But that I think we all have that list of things.
Yeah.
Don't have to go into that, but treat everybody you meet like you want to be treated. You reap what you sow. You put good stuff in, you're going to get good stuff out. You put crap in, you're going to get crap out. That's how it is. I mean, that's the physics of life, in my opinion. Treat people how you want to be treated. That's the standard.
Well, I just always lived my life thinking that being fair to people was the way to go.
Exactly.
Not
Yep.
not treating people right or wrong, just being fair.
Mhm.
If you're not fair to me, I may not be so fair
Right.
to you.
Right.
But I'm not going to initiate a conflict
No.
on the fairness non-fairness
Right.
chart.
Right.
I always thought it was important to treat everybody with respect, especially the people. This sounds crazy, especially the people you do not know. You can once you know somebody, you can kind of understand them, and if you're all great groups of buddies, you kind of push each other here and there. If you have a little bit of conflict, because it's going to happen.
It is. It's inevitable.
It's inevitable. Your brothers, you're going to have a conflict.
Oh yeah.
Those are the people easier to push the buttons on.
Yes.
You can't. How can you go out there and push a button on somebody you don't know? You don't know who the hell they are.
Right.
That's dangerous, but
It is. It is.
but we're gonna move forward a little bit. We're gonna talk about your military career.
Okay.
13-year veteran, John Pucillo. I know some of the things that you did in the military in Virginia. Um, but if you want to talk a little bit about that with the crowd, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah. So since I was a young kid, and just the way I was raised, I've always been a big supporter of the military. They go out, defend our freedom, all that stuff. But as I grew up, obviously in our lives, we've had a lot of stuff go on, and the biggest thing was 9/11, and on a day like that, and I mean, I was in second grade, I think. Yeah, I was in like second or third grade. I was at the bus. I was waiting for the bus when it happened because I was living in Wisconsin, so I was an hour behind the East Coast. Um, but I look at that, and then boom, we're in war. We're in war. Then we go to Iraq, and go through all that. And as a young kid, my mindset on a lot of things were a lot different. And it was based off of my parents, the way I was raised, the people that really more of a right wing upbringing. Conservative family, went to church, all that kind of stuff. So that kind of entails our thoughts and beliefs about that time period back then. But military always fascinated me. I love military history. a lot of my family served. You know, like all of our grandparents did World War II. You know, uncle in Vietnam. So military is kind of a tradition in my family. Um, and I really got to a point in school where I'm like, I'm really tired of being told what to learn.
Can we get into your family for just a smidge here,
Sure.
for just a second?
Absolutely.
A little segue into something. You're adopted.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely, I am, and thank God for that.
Uh, I know your mom and dad. I'm gonna call them your real mom and dad, and
Good,
because
because
that's
that's what
what
they
it
are.
is.
Yes.
Um,
They're the ones who raised me. That's my mom and dad. I don't care about blood. I
uh,
don't.
you and you don't even know the blood. You do, but you
I
don't.
know who they are, and that's about it. And I'm
I
fine.
mean, you
leaving
could
it
love
at
a
that.
brother or sister that could be down the road. Maybe not the parents, but maybe a brother or sister you could connect to. But
Possibly.
you had a great set of parents.
Yes.
Um, it set you on a path to join the Navy,
Hmm.
go to college. You got great parents.
I do.
I needed to say that when you got there, we're gonna give your parents a little shout out because whenever
That's
I
good.
see parents come in, it, parents that were not the real parents but become the real parents, those are great people.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, you know, my parents are very upfront about me being adopted. They didn't ever want to have those questions, you know, some kids go through and just it
Yeah,
absolutely tears their life apart.
yeah.
From a young age, I've known I was adopted. I was 8 months old. Um, you know, I was adopted out of Prince George's County, Maryland. My parents were born and raised there. Uh, you know, but they adopted me and they raised me in the way that they saw fit. And you know, we obviously had our issues over time, and you know, we still have disagreements and stuff like that, and that's cool. That's how it is. You know, I see things a little differently than them. Not too differently, but a little bit.
A little
But
bit.
you know, without them in my life, if I was stuck in the position that I was born into, I not only would I not be sitting here, I mean, gosh, I'd probably be in jail or dead
Oh,
or
we
something
wouldn't know
like
each
that.
other.
No, we definitely wouldn't. But
Um,
you know, me personally, like I'd probably be in jail or dead because that's kind of the situation I was born into, and my folks rescued me from that, and you know they set me on a path where I did 13 years in the Navy. I found a wonderful woman. You know, got a nice little house on a about an acre of land. Got 3 dogs, 3 cats. Everything I have today started with those two people, and I mean I feel lucky. I feel
oh,
lucky as hell.
you are lucky, and you know, I'm in a not the same but similar position.
Hmm.
I have a dad, a great dad, the greatest dad in my opinion in the world, and I know you think that about your dad.
Oh yeah.
Um,
My dad could beat
and
your
then I
dad.
have a guy I'll never meet my entire life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, but I have a dad. I have the best dad, and I love you, Dad.
Oh,
Um,
I love you, Dad.
he's got to get in there with it because
Seriously,
we
my
do
dad could
love
be
our
your
dads.
dad.
We love our dads
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
and our
Your dad's
families.
cool.
Uh, we wouldn't be who we are
Mm-mm.
without the parents who raised us.
Without a doubt, no.
And I'm not saying we're perfect by any means, but I feel like when I see some of the people in the world,
Hmm.
and I'm like, man, what the hell is wrong with these people? And then I realized, damn, they must have not had parents like we did. We had great parents.
Yeah.
Taught us. Look, I could sit here and say they taught us right. And some people might think it's wrong. Uh, but in my opinion, my parents taught me so correct.
Yeah.
It it was not great. There was a lot of times as a child I was like, man, I don't like this. But whenever I got a little older, I was like, damn, they were right.
Yeah. Oh man, that reminds me. There's times since I turned 18 and went out into the world, I'd call my parents. I'd be like, "You guys are right. You were right about this." I should have listened. And they're like, mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, it happens so often. The older you get, the more you're like, damn, they were
They
right.
were right.
What?
Son of a gun.
Why were they so right?
It's like they're smart or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because they'd already been through what we've gone through.
Yeah.
Or, what we're going through now. And, they probably felt the same exact way as kids, where they
Probably.
kind of had certain resentments towards their parents because you didn't like hearing this or you didn't like hearing that. It's time to go to bed. No kid liked to hear
No.
it's time to go to bed. Come on. So you always had certain resentments towards your parents. But whenever you get older, and then you finally have children, which I hope everybody does.
Right.
Um, which I've got two. Okay, and I've got Braden. Braden is not my biological son,
Right.
but he's my son.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Kind of like my dad. My dad is my stepdad. But I
Mhm.
don't ever say stepdad. I
No.
say dad. That's how I grew up. That's my dad. And I hope one day when Braden is done resenting me, he's going to be like, damn, he was right. And
He
I
will.
think
I mean,
he will.
it's a teenager's job to resent the parents. I mean,
Um,
if we got paid to resent our parents as teenagers, we'd never have to work a day in our life. I bet.
Yeah.
I know. I sure as heck wouldn't.
yeah, no, he does. Everybody knows Braden's a little quiet.
He's a good kid, though.
But he is the smartest person I know.
He is
By
smart, yeah.
far. Everybody that I know, no one is smarter than them.
Yeah.
The kid's going to be a superstar when it comes to medical technology in our country. The kid is so damn smart. And I just wish, and I tell him all the time, and I don't think he listens to me. He probably don't believe me whenever I tell him that. But he's going to be there one day. He's going to be super special for our country and for the world.
I see it. I see it in him. I do.
And then we got little David, wild child. That guy, that little boy is going to be a fearless one.
Yeah.
I just hope he can drive a race car better than I could.
Say he's going to be the next Douglas racer,
Yeah,
guaranteed.
he's going to be a good one. I'm going to make sure that I put him in a position to be able to do it. I can't necessarily put Braden through medical school, but he's so smart, I think he's going to go for free.
I hope. I really do hope.
I hope that. Racing's expensive too, but
Yeah.
you can get sponsors to go racing, and for college you can get scholarships. So it's kind of the same deal.
In a way, yeah.
But I hope both of my boys are successful, and I'm gonna be hard on them to make sure that they get there to do that.
Absolutely.
But since we segued out, we're gonna get back into your Navy career. I wanted to talk about a little bit of your backstory when it comes to being adopted,
Mhm.
and how you're here today and not in the ground.
Absolutely. No, that's a good point. But yeah, so I joined right out of high school. I graduated from Lakota West in 2010, and I went in the Navy. September 28th, 2010 is when I shipped to boot camp up there in Great Lakes, Illinois. It's just north of Chicago.
Were your parents supportive?
Yes.
They were.
Yeah.
They wanted you to go.
Uh,
Or they didn't want you to go, but whenever you
it-
made the decision, they was like, we
to
support
be
you.
completely frank, my mom was not supportive when I wanted to be a Marine.
Yeah.
But when I said I'm going to go to the Navy, she became much more supportive. And
Yeah.
I understand that. If you don't know about the Marine Corps, they're the ones who do the most insane missions. And I mean, honestly, you have to be certifiable just to be a infantryman in the Marine. Honestly, yeah, they're hard hitters. Oh gosh, don't fight a Marine. You're gonna lose. But went in the Navy because I really looked at it and thought the Marines would be great because I wanted to be 0311. I wanted to be an infantryman. Frontline, kicking indoors, all that good stuff. But when I thought about the Navy, it's like that can give me a future outside of outside of the military. I went in as an engineman, which is basically a diesel mechanic in the Navy. Just really really succinct that up. Went to boot camp, went to A school up there in Chicago. Got stationed out in Sasebo, Japan on a LSD 46 USS Tortuga, tough, tall, tenacious.
We're going to pause right there. That's where you met our good friend Billy.
Yep. I met Billy Price,
and
in
that's
Sasebo,
why you're
Japan.
here today.
Yes, that's it. Because graduated. Lived here for a long time before I joined. We moved into Ohio in 2004. But I had no designs on ever coming back here once I left.
You lived in Westchester.
Yep, Westchester, Liberty Township, that area. Yeah, nice area.
Very nice area.
Very nice area. Went over there, got stationed in Japan. Got there right after the tsunami back in 2011, and all that. Actually, when I was flying over there on the plane into Tokyo, you could see in the ocean once you started getting close, like all the debris that got washed back out. I mean, just absolutely horrendous sight to see. It was honestly really sad.
Yeah.
Because we were at 25,000 feet at that point. And you could be like, that's the roof of a house.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh God, that's terrible. But got there, went through my time in Japan. I had my ups and downs. I was a young guy, chucklehead. But I did work my butt off.
Yeah.
I applied myself there, but I made some dumb decisions. Nothing so dumb that it's career ending or anything like that, but just stupid young man stuff.
Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely.
You know what? It's probably not even that rare. Like, there's
it's
lots
not.
of guys
It's
at a
not.
young
We all
age
do
making
it.
mistakes in the military.
And young girls do it too. We all do it. We all make, because we just don't know. We're not experienced in life.
You're going into something, you have no idea what you're getting yourself into. Zero idea. And then you're there and you're like, damn, this is... You have it in your mind of what you think it's going to be, and it's not that.
It's never what you think it's going to be.
It's not that.
It is so radically different. It's insane. But, I worked down in the engine rooms, I worked on 2 diesel generators.
This is why the ships kept breaking down, guys.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Gosh. No. Basically, what kept the lights on, we kept the propellers turning. That's what I worked on. I worked on potable water systems, air compressors.
Was your ship a? And what was it powered by?
Diesel.
2
V16 Colt peel stick diesel, twin turbos.
What military equipment is ran by the power plant kind of
Nuclear?
the nuclear
Aircraft carriers and submarines.
Submarines, okay.
Yep, aircraft carriers and submarines.
That's crazy. And those are good for what, 20 years, 30 years?
25 years usually
25?
Between refuels. It's incredible.
Dude, is that crazy?
It's
They
insane.
just keep running?
It's amazing.
It
and
is.
They tried. The Navy tried to do it. It's a cruiser. They tried to make a nuclear-powered cruiser, and it was too cost-ineffective, so they scrapped that idea.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah.
You always got to
for
judge.
Platforms like an aircraft carrier,
They're out there all the time. They can't always be refueled.
The top speed of all our vessels is top secret, but an aircraft carrier, the speed at which it can move something that big with all that stuff in it would blow your minds.
When we say top secret, we mean the public doesn't know, but there are leakers.
There are leakers. And not just the public. I don't know the top speed of an aircraft carrier. I've never had the need to know. I've never been in a position to need to know. I don't know the true top speed of a destroyer.
You
Why?
think they go underwater?
What, aircraft carriers? Mm-hmm. If you blow them up, they'll go underwater.
You think that's the only way they go underwater?
Yeah. A wave breaking across the bow does not count as underwater.
Well, but they can take on water to get lower.
So
and then expunge that water to come back.
There are ships that can do that. So you're thinking. So there's 2. When you watch like Pearl Harbor or Midway as a World War II movie that's more recent, you see those Like
They can
very
open up gavies and seal off certain levels of the ship to go lower or go higher, right?
I mean, yes, in theory, but that's not really what an aircraft carrier does. You're thinking of an amphibious assault ship. So there's the aircraft carriers. They're the big long ones. They got the runway that goes off that way,
Yeah.
runway that goes, and then there's the ones that are just straightforward, like the old World War II carriers
Yeah,
you see
yeah.
in the old movies. Those are actually amphibious assault ships, LHAs and LHDs. Those have the capability to. They have big tanks that are either filled with air or they fill them with water, and they sink it down because in the back, basically, it's called the well deck. But basically, they open the garage door and out slip the dogs of war of the United States Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Their whole purpose is to we take Marines around and we wait for something to happen so they can go kill, because that's all they're meant to do.
That's what they're meant to do.
That's the Marine Corps. That's all they do: kill.
You know,
They make the grass go with blood.
since we're on the subject, I'm gonna talk a little bit about my skepticism
Absolutely.
of the military. In
That's a
in
fair
some
thing.
sense, I appreciate all the military personnel.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, but I have some skepticism. I had a family member in the military, and he told me all they were doing was playing video games and hammering monsters.
Mm-hmm.
The energy drinks, okay, and and that's where my skepticism kind of grew. Like, damn, how prepared are we?
Right.
Like, we shouldn't be doing that.
So we should, and it's a wide-ranging topic, right? So we have to train. We have to train to fight. We have to be ready to fight the battles, engage the enemy, and destroy them.
Yeah.
Because that's our job,
Mhm.
right? But we can't train all the time. We can't keep go because you're just going to get burnt out. Your entire crew, your entire squad, they're not going to be combat effective. So yeah, we have downtime, and but I will tell you what, the amount that I drank and partied in Japan, out of this world.
I'm not saying that one shouldn't enjoy themselves. I think everything you do should be
Right.
enjoyable. Everything you do, whether it's being a truck driver,
Mhm.
an AC technician, air compressor technician, auto mechanic, firefighter, policeman, you should find ways to have fun at your job.
Yeah.
I understand that, but there's one job I am skeptical of that being the case.
What
And
did he
it's-
do in the military?
Hmm?
What was his job in the military?
Marine.
Yes, but here's the thing. Admin guys, they're not really the ones going out doing the thing. They absolutely play a fantastic role because they make sure we're paid right.
Well-
They make sure our paperwork's submitted. They have an absolute role. We need them, but they're not the ones. I mean, they're not the ones to go out and kick in doors.
I'll tell you this much. He got medically retired from eardrum damage.
Ooh,
Okay, loud booms.
loud boom. So bombs are artillery.
I'm not gonna take it any further than that. It's not my place.
Mm-hmm.
But when that person talks to you about the machines, and even Billy, our buddy, I don't know. I guess my skepticism comes from how I thought it was gonna be,
Yeah.
but it wasn't. From what everybody told me, I always thought it would be more serious based. If that
It
makes any
definitely
sense.
used to be back in the day, I think.
Yeah, well, I think
or that's the perspective that we see.
Yeah,
But that was a different time, different people,
It
different
was.
beliefs in
and,
society.
and I'm not saying, and maybe I got to open up my mind to be like, okay, yeah, that's their hard job. It's very difficult to separate yourself from your family for that
Mhm.
long, and I think that's what people going and protecting us and dying, and people just simply happen to leave their families for months at a time. That's important, and but my skepticism always came from, man, are we prepared? Are we prepared for something bad to happen?
We are. Yeah, we absolutely are. One of the things as technology has grown is that we can use that technology to simulate better training without really having to be out out to sea forever. Or
Do you
out in
think
the
we
field
have the
forever.
best technology?
We have insane technology, but you know what? China has insane technology too.
Yeah.
They absolutely do. Russia has good technology.
Russia
You
has
know,
China technology now. I mean,
and
hell,
China
they're
has Russia
basically
technology.
partners.
You know, they've gone back and forth. They've shared with each other over the years and kind of built each other
Just
up
like
in that
we share
sense.
with Europe and
Yeah.
the
Well,
NATO
the
nations.
F-35 is a joint strike. It's the F-35 Lightning Joint Strike Fighter. We helped develop it. Britain helped develop it. You know, a lot of NATO helped develop that plane. It was a multinationally developed fighter plane, right? So, you know, Europe has all of our stuff, but we've taken plenty of stuff from Europe too in their military technology, especially the Germans when it comes to tanks and
Oh.
artillery.
Man, no doubt about
Oh
it.
my God, the
We
German
have
stuff's
learned
amazing.
a lot. We've learned a lot from other countries.
Mhm.
I think we've learned a lot from Ukraine and Russia war
Oh, we have.
when it comes
We have.
to
That's
the
why we're
new
throwing a
way
bunch
of
crap at
war.
it.
We weren't the ones to learn the new way of war. We're watching Russia and Ukraine right now, and the whole world's watching, by the way, and they're
Yeah.
understanding that drone technology is the new way of war.
It's the first conventional war in the 21st century.
It is. I don't like it,
I don't either.
but
I hate war.
if we're gonna learn, if you're gonna have a bad thing, you better learn from it.
Yeah.
And we should the countries on the outside looking in on this are learning more than the guys actually doing it. And that's
In
real.
a lot of ways, yeah.
The United States is building better drone technology than what they see on the battlefield right now. And so is probably China.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean,
uh,
China can develop their own stuff, but they're also kind of bad at just stealing ideas and then
Yeah. The
re-engineering
IP
it for
deal,
them.
the IP, what's it, intellectual property that China is known for stealing.
Well, yeah, IP. I mean, they're definitely in espionage and stuff like that.
Well, they're here.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yes.
They're
1000%.
here. They're in our country.
And you know
We're not
that-
in their country.
Yes, we are.
Well,
Maybe not to the scale, but we have assets.
Yeah,
There's
but-
no doubt in my mind.
but how many of 'em- I'm going to throw this out there. Don't listen to all mainstream media because it can be.
Bought and paid for.
In 2012, Barack Obama done away with the Munt Act. When that happened, it allowed mainstream media to start spreading propaganda. That act was to hold them in place to speak facts. In 2012, Barack Obama got rid of that to allow media sources to only talk about opinions. They didn't have to spew facts anymore. That's where the news changed. You remember? Remember whenever we were kids and it was kind of like you just watched the news, your parents watched the news, and it was little things around your area?
Yeah. Oh, definitely on the local. Like I swear, I watch a local news channel now. It's like I don't know half of these towns you're talking about because they're nowhere near us.
Yeah. But that Monk Act, I think it's
Smith-Mundt Act.
yeah. Smith-Monk Act. That's a big deal. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, I have it pulled up.
Talk a little bit about it.
Let's see.
When did it get disabled?
It was the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act. It wasn't disabled; it was modernized.
Modernized for what?
Means the United States Information and Education Exchange Act of 1948 to authorize the Secretary of State and the Broadcasting Board of Governors to provide for the preparation and dissemination of information intended for foreign audiences abroad about the United States, including its people, its history, and the federal government's policies, through press, publications, radio, motion pictures, the internet, and other information media, including social media, and through information centers and instructors. Under current law, such authority is restricted to information disseminated abroad with a limited domestic exception.
We need to reenact that act, and we're going to call it the Charlie Kirk Act.
Could do that, yeah.
Charlie Kirk Act, because that guy went out there to speak free speech, and he spoke his opinions and how he thought, And it unfortunately didn't work out for him. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk.
So this is a part of it. Amends the Foreign Relations Authorization Act fiscal year 86 and 87 to prohibit funds for the Department of State or the board from being used to influence public opinion or propagandizing in the United States. So that's basically saying you can't use government funds to do the news.
But they have.
Well, they've gotten around it.
PBS, we just defunded them because they were getting our tax dollars.
Yeah, they were a little slant in a lot of ways. So, hey, Sesame Street was awesome. I love Sesame Street growing up.
You know, we all
But
grew
that's
up
the
with
thing,
Sesame Street.
Listen, this might say the government can't do this, but they found the ways to get around that by using, like a Soros or a Koch brothers, for the
I
other
wanna see
side, guys
Soros.
like that.
Out of our country.
Yeah.
The guy is in my opinion, a foreign terrorist.
Yeah,
He's not an
absolutely, I
American.
agree.
Why is he
I
here?
agree.
He's not
I
an
agree.
American.
I don't think people should be able to spend that much money to try to influence all these things. It's not.
Well,
It's not fair to us,
you know,
the
for
pawns.
for the first time,
Really?
maybe ever, that an actual big time billionaire. We're going to compare him, Elon Musk and George Soros. Elon Musk has a lot more money, by the way. I think George Soros is like 9-10 billion worth, something like that, maybe.
Can I just have $1 billion?
But the only time you ever started hearing about billionaires was when Elon Musk got involved.
In this day and age, yeah. I mean, we heard a lot about Bill Gates growing up because that was the big thing. It's
Yeah.
the computers up and coming
But-
and expanding and stuff like that. That was
But
pretty big at that
everybody,
time.
almost from the beginning of time, knew Bill Gates was trying to control our fucking world. I mean, that's what he's been doing.
I mean,
that dude's a
in a lot of
lunatic.
technology, that's the end goal, is to control something.
That guy's. You're telling me that guy ain't pushing Google, Microsoft, to be pushing some skewed bullshit? That guy is. I don't like him.
I don't either.
I ain't gonna eat his lab-grown meat either.
I mean, I appreciate
What about that?
I appreciate the positives, like Microsoft, because he founded it.
Well, no, there's great
co-founded,
things.
I should say.
You can always find good and bad in everybody.
He's definitely brought a lot of good to the world, but there's a lot of other things that he's involved with that just aren't good. That just aren't good.
Well, it depends on how much you look into it, you read into it, and you understand it. Bill Gates has done a lot of good,
Yes.
and he's done a lot of bad. And it just depends on how you weigh it. Where's the scale? Is the good this good, or is the bad this bad? And I think he's done more bad.
Especially in recent years, yes.
Because there's so much technology out there now. It's not just Bill Gates available to bring technology.
No,
Maybe
Bill
at one
Gates,
point it was.
Steve Jobs.
Not anymore. Steve Jobs.
He was
you
a
had
big
him. He unfortunately died of cancer or something. I don't know that for
Was
certain,
it?
but
I think it was cancer. I think it was cancer.
he did pass away years
Yeah.
ago. But yeah, another good technologist. And there's so many more. So many more good technologists.
There always will be. There's always going to be the next guy and the next girl and the next guy. I mean, that's just how it is.
Bill Gates scares me a little bit.
When somebody has that much money and influence and spread and power, I mean, they are scary to me.
Charlie Kirk said something to where he said, "Give a man money, and you'll find out who he is."
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
It is true. What does he do with that money? What does he do with that money?
There was a point where I was making some decent money,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't make that money now. But I wasn't happy.
Right.
I actually found myself unhappier than I am right now. Don't get me wrong, I'm doing fair.
Yeah.
I am doing fair. My family lives well. But I had a time where I was making very good money. And it never changed me. The only thing it did was show me, like, damn. I got to a point I was like, damn, I don't need all this.
Right.
Not everybody's like that.
No.
But I didn't need it all. And eventually I I have everything that I had without that money. I have everything that
It's
I
all
had.
about what you value personally in life. You
Yeah.
know, that's where that debate comes in, is what do you actually value? You know, if it's things, clothes, shoes, cars, yeah, you know, all the money in the world is going to be great for you. But you know, if you value friends, family, you know, having some chickens, things like that,
Yeah.
you don't need $1 million billion to be happy. You just don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
You know,
Would I like to be making more? Yeah, I would love to be making more money. But you know what? My wife and I, Morgan and I, the dogs, the cat, we have everything we need. You know, that we want for nothing.
I'll be honest. I had a crappy boss.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and one day I went in there and I said, hey, you know, I don't ever have any time. I said, I need more time or a lot more money.
Yeah.
And I was already making good money.
Yeah.
He said, I think you need to get a 40-hour-a-week job done. And then I went and did it.
Yeah,
And
you
I'm
did.
making I'm almost making similar money. I'm not, I didn't go poor. I went and did something. I got a lot more time, a lot
Yeah.
more time with my family, a lot more time with
Time's
my
always
friends.
more important than money.
Damn near making the same amount of money.
Yeah. The way I
That was great advice, you
Yep.
piece
Thanks,
of shit.
buddy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the door code's still the same, by the way.
Yeah, the door code's still
Yep,
the same.
That always gets them when I go there. They're like, hey. I'm like, yeah, it hasn't been changed in years.
They base that door code
They're
off
like,
of
oh.
we got new things or we redid them and
Yeah.
you know they asked me and you know 405. It's basically it's right there. It's right there.
But yeah, you know, it's just about what you're brought up valuing and things like that. That's where that money thing comes into me. Time's always more important because you know that's the thing. You can make money, you can lose money. Time is time.
Yeah.
Once it's gone, and it's never coming back. So you got to make
Yeah.
the most of the time you have. And you know, for a guy like you or a guy like me, that means spending time with our family, spending time doing the things we actually want to do. That's way more important than anything that a dollar can buy us.
I went to go be a truck driver
Mm-hmm.
because I know I can especially where I'm at, which I'm thankful for it.
Mm-hmm.
I can kind of make my own schedule, and I'm no longer under this time frame of a company. Granted, I'm not an owner operator, but I have a good position in a company where I can just make my own schedule.
Do your job.
Yeah,
That's all you
just
have
do
to
go do it. I don't even hear
The
from
only
them.
responsibility you have is to do your job, and that's very nice.
Dude, I go to where I need to pick up basically when I want. I mean, I keep myself on a schedule, but I dictated that. I have a huge window of when I can get started and stopped, and I appreciate that. I left where I didn't have a window. I didn't have a window, and I had a crappy boss.
Yeah.
He was terrible.
Yeah.
I've had good bosses, and I've had bad bosses.
Same.
And the last one I had, terrible.
Yeah.
How he's still at that company is beyond me. But that guy was not a leader.
You must be friends with somebody.
I like to consider myself a leader. I was a leader at that company.
Yeah.
And I think more guys would think that I was much more of a leader than the guy I'm talking about.
Probably. I mean, shoot, I've been a leader too. You know, back to the Navy thing. You know, I ran, you know, programs, career development programs. You know, kind of like Navy HR related stuff to help sailors. You know, find a way forward or change something in their career to suit them and their family better. That's the way I approached it, at least.
Yeah.
I ran maintenance shops, you know, even down to, you know, casualty response teams. So like fire, flooding, toxic gas. You know, from a very early time in the Navy, you know, when it comes to like the casualty response teams, you know, you're a leader. You're leading people in a very bad situation. And then, you know, as I I got out as an E6 petty officer first class. I was starting to get up there. But I ran maintenance shops. I was in charge of maintenance program. I was in charge of 20, 30 people, all that kind of stuff. And leadership's it's not for everybody. It's just not.
It's not.
And I love it, but at the same time, what I do now, I work on air compressors, like big industrial types. I love it because my only responsibility in the world is just to go and do my job, and it's nice taking that pack off and not having to worry about the leadership aspects or the managerial aspect, the administrative aspects that a manager or a boss has to worry about. It's such a nice departure.
That was one thing whenever I've been in leadership positions quite a bit, and I always felt like that's where I needed to be. I always felt like I've been a good leader of men or women. But it does take a toll on you.
It does.
Especially when the company doesn't allow you to be who you need to be. There's a bad...
Oh, yeah.
You got these people up there pencil pushing, and they're sending out these policies that don't make a damn bit of sense.
Right.
But they're the ones making the policy. They're not even there. What the hell are you talking about?
Never been there. They have no clue. They're like, this sounds good. Look, you've seen that in civilian world. It's the same in the military. It's the exact same. You get a policy that comes out, and you're just like, these guys have never been in the shoes. They have no clue what they're talking about, and it just absolutely wrecks your world.
I think the biggest problem with me was I was the one who was just going to do my thing. As being a leader, just trying to be a good leader. And you had all these company policies that wouldn't allow you to. The company policy would say, "Hey, be a piece of shit to your employees."
Pretty much.
First off, to me, they were never employees.
They're people.
They were coworkers.
Yeah, coworkers, people. They're people too.
They were people.
Yeah.
And these policies would try to make it to where they weren't even people.
Well, that's the thing. Corporate America and all this stuff, they care more about metrics than the flesh and blood that gets them.
I got so tired of hearing about
everything is
metrics.
all metrics driven.
Let's have a meeting about our metrics. Let's have a meeting about our metrics.
I get it. We want to be efficient.
None of the technicians gave a damn about.
They don't care. It's like, I'm going to go do my job.
Yeah, they're going to go do their job.
But,
maybe some of them do a good job. Maybe some of them do a bad job.
We want to be efficient.
But you got to get the best out of your bad people, too.
Oh, absolutely. And you're only as good as your worst person.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
Yeah.
But I get it. We want to make sure as, like a business owner, you want to make sure you're running efficiently. You want to make sure you're running lean. You're doing the right things. You're cost versus profit, all that kind of stuff. And metrics is the way you do that. I understand that. But you sacrifice seeing the people as people and treating them as human beings when you look solely at a spreadsheet and see nothing but numbers in black and white.
Man.
And here's the thing. The more you sacrifice the people, the worse those numbers are going to become. You focus on taking care of those people, those numbers are going to go through the damn roof every single time. Every single time. There are so many business stories I've seen where they gave people raises. The CEO took a pay cut to pay his people or give them better bonuses. And guess what? That company starts to thrive. Their production, their productivity, their numbers go through the roof because the people are taken care of.
Yeah, it gets better.
You put the people first, the people will pay you back.
I know.
Every single time.
I always thought it was important. Look, I'm not saying I was the best leader ever. But it was my mission to treat my people respectfully.
Damn right.
And let's have fun at our job. But we do have a mission. We have a goal. We have to get things done.
Yes.
But we should enjoy ourselves while doing it.
Yes.
And I'm going to support you every step of the way. If you need me to come help you, come get me. I'm always available.
Like,
whenever I had bosses that you would go knock on their door and they would wave you off. Nah, that's not how it works.
No.
You're supposed to be available.
Just because you're sitting in the office doesn't mean you're better than anybody else out there.
You're not better.
You put your pants on the same way every dang day.
I sat in the office.
Yeah.
I was there.
I've sat in the office.
The door was never shut.
Nope.
Never shut. The only time I wasn't there is if we were in a meeting somewhere
Yeah.
on a phone call.
Or if I had to have a one-on-one or stuff, I'd tell people, hey,
Well, yeah.
give me a minute.
If I had to actually have a talk with people, which I did, and those talks were always very real, heart-to-heart talks. Whenever I would talk to people, it would be like, man, you got to get your shit together.
Yeah.
I'd be real about it. I'm surprised I just didn't get fired from HR. from having real talks. From having real talks with people.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, I had a kid that worked third shift that kept falling asleep. Mm-hmm. It's a tough shift. You're out there by yourself.
But you have to adjust.
I had to have conversations with them. I had multiple conversations with them. Like, man, you got to stay awake, dude. You got work to do.
Yeah.
Multiple conversations, and one day I was like, okay, it's not the conversations aren't working. I had to have a conversation with my boss. Yeah. Be like, man, I think it's time for him to go. I didn't want it.
No.
I wanted to help the kid.
But there's a certain point at which you have to do what's best for the company too.
And we did. We got rid of him.
It sucks. But,
and you know what?
That's how it goes.
He probably woke up after that.
I hope
and
so.
went and strived at his next job.
I really hope so.
He probably did.
Sometimes that's what it takes.
Yeah, sometimes it is what it takes. And but I did. I always wanted to be somebody. I always wanted to be the leader. When people came to work, you're not going like, "Damn, I got to deal with him."
Yeah.
But also be stern and be like, "We have shit to do."
Yeah. It's a tough balance to find.
Yeah.
It really is. You can basically baby the people without meaning to and not realizing you are, and your productivity is going to collapse, or you're too hard and your people are going to collapse. It's a very, very fine balance.
I would have some technicians come up to me, at least two, and I would assign them work. Mm-hmm. Then they'd come up to me and be like, "I'm not doing that." And I said, "Well, you can take your ass home then."
That's how it goes.
I mean, that's where the stern was. If you come up to me and say you're not doing something, take your ass home then.
Yeah.
But I always try to be good to them.
Yeah.
But whenever they would all be, you'd had this guy having a bad day. He'd come up to you and be like, "I'm not doing that."
Yeah.
Go home. Bye. See ya. You don't want to work? Go home.
Yeah. Don't need you.
You know what happened? They would go do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need this job.
Yeah, they would go do it.
Absolutely.
Look, it wasn't me trying to be a piece of shit either. Mm-mm. It was me saying,
there's a job to get done.
This work needs done. You're going to go do it. And if you're telling me you're not going to, then I don't need you here because that's what I need you to do.
Yep.
But that guy was a good guy too. That the one I'm thinking about right now, he was a great kid. He's probably going to be successful. And, he thought he was going to come tell me what he was going to do. No, you're not. You're going to go home. But we have a problem with leadership in our country. And probably really across the world.
Yeah.
And leadership...
It's not always the best person that gets those positions.
I know. So, sometimes the leader might be that technician that's not performing great.
Might be.
It might be. That's one thing I did like about that company. Was they would not always necessarily get rid of somebody. They would try them out somewhere else.
I like that. I like that.
Maybe that's not always good either. Maybe they just think they're too, but...
give it a shot.
But give them a shot. You can change them. Hey, you're not working out good over here. Let's try you over here and see what happens. Maybe you just need to change.
Yeah.
Instead of just all out firing people all the time. Look, I'm down with firing people if they deserve it.
You got to give me I am too. It's never something I'm ever going to want to do, but you give me the right reason. Easy. You
got to go.
Or if you can establish a pattern about someone where they're just not cutting it, fine.
Yeah. Um, John, we're going to wrap up a little bit with your Navy career.
Yeah.
I want everybody to kind of understand how it ended for you
Okay.
and where you are right now. And,
Right.
and then how you came from that and are where you are and started your 513.
Okay. So yeah, I did my 3 years in Japan on 2 amphibs, taking the Marines around Asia and all that stuff, letting them have fun. We pull in port, have fun. I went from there to the USS Cole, which, if you don't know, October 12th, 2008 in Yemen, that ship was bombed by Al Qaeda. Osama bin Laden and all those guys.
Yeah.
We lost a lot of people that day. It was, I think, 17, about 30 some injured. A lot of engineers, a lot of guys that did my job.
Yeah.
So I was on there for 2 years. We went out, and actually we were in the Black Sea when Russia went into Crimea in Ukraine back then. That was an interesting
2014.
time. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That was an interesting time. That was a wild time. But from there, I went to shore duty in Illinois, Decatur, Illinois, at the Reserve Center there, where I was active duty staff, helping take care of the reservists. Which, while stationed there, is where I met my wonderful wife Morgan. So
Great lady, by the way.
Small blessings. Illinois finally did something good for me in my life because I grew up in Wisconsin. Illinois, screw that place.
Yeah.
That's just how we were raised up there. But I went from there back to a ship in Norfolk, the Oscar Austin, and it was recovering from a fire that it had burned up quite a bit of. I would hate to see the dollar figures it took to fix that ship because we lost our radar arrays. Like they burned up.
Yeah.
And it's spy the Aegis radar system, which is
You had one of the spy radar ships?
best radar system in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
But while I was there,
I think I remember hearing about that.
may have. Somebody was doing hot work,
Yeah.
and they weren't doing it right, and it started fire up in the superstructure of
Yeah.
the ship, and it just burned it all up.
Yeah.
When I first got there, you could still see all the damage, and it had been 2 years, the whole thing. But the whole time I was there, we never went underway. We were just fixing the ship to get it back ready to get out there, do the mission. And being an engineer in the Navy, I started as an engineman, went over to machinist mate, which has nothing to do with machining. They're more of the boiler technicians, auxiliary technicians and stuff. That's how I got into HVAC. When I was on the Cole, I went to AC&R school and worked on the chiller plants on that ship. And then I converted over to damage controlmen, which were the resident expert firefighters, casualty response guys, fire, flooding, toxic gas, all that kind of stuff. Whether it's, a pipe rupture or battle damage, that's our jam. We teach everybody else on the ship how to do it. And, we take care of those systems too. So, doing those jobs, it's hard on the body, because you're either being a mechanic, you have air pack on, you're out in the middle of the ocean, rocking here and there, so it takes a toll on your body.
Yeah.
So what happened is I was working on a watertight fitting, a door on the ship, and I went to pick it up. And I felt a bunch of popping in my lower back.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out I ruptured my L3, L4, and L5 discs. I just ruptured, like, boom, popped. And, that started the whole thing. And as I was going through treatment and all that kind of stuff, they found that my lower back's just an absolute pile of crap. My L5 and my S1 are basically stuck together.
Yeah.
Naturally, like I've never had
no
surgery.
more disc in there. They're just rubbing on each other.
No, I never had surgery. Like that's just how it was. Like that's how I don't know.
Just deteriorated.
So I went through that whole process. Med board. It took forever. That was such a stressful time.
It's always a battle.
Oh, it is. It is. They came back and said, hey, 40% for that. On the Navy side, which 30% is the threshold to be medically retired.
Yeah.
If this makes you 30+% disabled, you are now medically retired. You're entitled to the pension and all these things, health care for life, TRICARE, military health care, but it's still free for
Go
life.
to the VA.
You know.
Go to the VA.
Yep, and then the VA, they have their own stuff too.
Yeah. They have their own things. Are you in both of those programs?
So, yes, but here's the. I think it's a crappy thing, and I think it should be changed. But
do you like the new VA Secretary, Doug Collins?
I don't really have an opinion on him because guess what? I'm still getting my disability pay. I still got my VA loans. My wife is still using the GI Bill to go to college, just like it always has been.
That's the thing is nobody ever knows about it unless you feel it.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's one thing that's true in this country. You don't know about it unless you feel it.
No, that's absolutely true. But yeah, so I got medically retired. I got out. I utilized my HVAC experience, which at that point included a degree, because while I was stationed in Illinois, I went to night school and got an associate's in HVAC.
Yeah.
So I went out, started doing HVAC and all that kind of stuff in Virginia. The wife and I, she's born and bred Illinois, born in Maryland, but I grew up between Wisconsin and Ohio. We're Midwestern folk. We wanted to get back to the Midwest. We're
going to talk real quick about your wife.
Okay, yeah.
Your wife is a great lady.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Me and her definitely have our different views on things.
Yeah.
But she's a great lady, and I respect her. And I respect... The reason I do is because she is so hardcore on how she thinks. Mm-hmm. And I think she kind of understands how I think, too.
Yeah, she does.
It's not always the same, but it's similar. We're very similar, even though we're a lot different.
I mean, there's definitely parallels. I mean, I can see it. Yeah.
You got a great wife. You did well. I want to give her a shout out real quick. First off, for allowing you to come here. So I know you say that you're the one who, is wearing the jeans. But
well, I say that, but we know that's not.
We all know that's not true.
That's not the case at all.
That don't work.
Woman.
She is. She's good, and so is my wife. She's great.
She
kind of keeps me in line.
God bless her.
I don't know if either of us would be talking here right now if it wasn't for our wives.
I wouldn't be.
So,
she has made me such a better man. I struggled a lot when I was early in the Navy. When I met her and we got together, something changed in my mind, and I was just that's when I started to accelerate.
I'll be honest. I can't believe that my wife and your wife haven't tuned in with each other because they're so alike.
Yeah.
From what I can tell, it's crazy, man. I can't believe it because they are. They're alike. They're alike a lot. So maybe get together, ladies.
Do it. Do it now. But so yeah, I got out. We were in Virginia, and because of Billy, and during COVID, I kind of started playing the video games with y'all guys because that's all there was to do at that time. So get on the voice chat. I'm like, yeah, these are some cool guys and stuff.
Yeah.
And then Billy invited me out to Man's Night and all that stuff, and I came out here and look, back in 2010, between 2004 and 2010 when I lived here, Hamilton, and I'm not a Hamiltonian. I'm from Westchester, Liberty Township, Lakota boy.
The good spot.
Y'all locals know. I'm like, Hamilton's like the butt of the joke, right? That's just a decrepit. It's not as bad as Middletown by any stretch of the imagination. It never has been. But it's Hamilton. You don't go to Hamilton. You drive through Hamilton.
Yeah.
But when I came back here, I went out with Billy, his wife, and his girl for dinner right there by the river. And, they had the urban backyard and all these things pop up. I'm like, what the heck has happened to Hamilton? And, I'm looking around and stuff, and it's like, we got all these great guys out here, real cool guys I'm friends with, buddies with, I'm close with, I can trust, I know the area, for my career path, I will always find a job.
Yeah.
Almost anywhere, luckily. But Cincinnati's got a lot of industry. Cincinnati's got a lot of this and that. So it's like, you know, um, yeah, that's what set us on the trajectory. So we ended up moving here in was that 2024? January 24 is when we finally moved out here.
I still consider myself a Hamiltonian. Uh, Even though I may be a Somervillian, at the moment, I'm only a few good stone throws away from getting back to Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
Hamilton, when I was a kid, you heard about how Fairfield was better, Westchester was better. And I never noticed it. I loved where I grew up.
I never noticed it with Fairfield.
I loved where I grew up. And now I look and I see Hamilton even making bigger strides. They added Spooky Nook.
Huge.
They're redoing Main Street.
There's investment in the city.
It looks so good. It has
does.
come
It does.
so far.
Main Street. So I mean, my recruiting office was West Side.
Hey,
I mean, it's right down the road from my
Let's not forget this
house.
either. Let's not forget this either. We have one of the best sheriffs in the entire country.
Oh, absolutely. Butler County Sheriff Richard Jones.
Richard Jones is great.
And all of his deputies have been great.
You can talk about him how you will when it comes to certain things, but we have a great sheriff.
Yeah.
In Butler County, and I appreciate that. We need more of them.
Yeah. And that was a factor in moving back here. It's like it's a safe area. I mean, the only real problem in Butler County is Middletown.
Yeah,
but it's not so much violent.
You
crime.
know what? It's more so drug.
It's
crime.
drugs, which suck, but you don't hear about too many murders up here.
No, you don't.
Which is
I mean, don't get me wrong. They happen. They're going to happen everywhere. I don't care.
They
Even
are
in the
gonna
good
happen,
cities, the cities with zero crime, which I would almost consider Butler County, Hamilton, one of those. But there is crime. There's
crime.
always going to be crime.
Yeah, but
I hate that. I hate it. I wish we could fix it all. I'm not condoning any crime whatsoever.
No.
But you're always going to have it.
Yeah.
But it has to be eliminated to the fullest extent that you possibly can eliminate it to make people feel safe.
Absolutely.
I think that's important. In our entire country, you have to have the ability to go out and go shopping or walk down Main Street in Hamilton and feel like you're going to be okay.
If you can't control crime, you end up like Detroit.
Yeah. Detroit's bad.
It was the jewel of America for so long. The automakers. There was so much freaking money in Detroit until like we bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki in World War II.
Hiroshima.
Whatever.
However you pronounce it.
We nuked these places. We decimated them. And I will tell you from firsthand experience, today they are shining metropolises. They are glorious and beautiful.
Yeah.
Detroit was that back in 1945, and now, I mean, it's old factories that nobody. It's crime. It's decay. It's urban nonsense. It's falling apart. It's terrible. I hate to see it because it was such a proud place and such a crown jewel in the history of America, and to see it suffer like it is, it's heartbreaking. It really is.
I can't believe there's cities out there literally condoning violence. They're like, we don't need help. 10 murders a day is fine. What? What are you talking about? That's crazy.
It is. It's nonsense. I mean, you can't have it. I mean, these cities complain like we don't ever have funding and stuff. Well, why? Because you have no property value because you're letting crime go. If you take care of the crime, your property values are going to increase.
I'm
and
sorry.
Get more tax revenue.
If you're not taking the first step at fixing your problem, then you don't deserve my money.
Mm-mm.
If you're not taking the
enablement.
step to fix your problem in your city, you don't need my money in Michigan from Ohio.
No.
You don't need my federal tax dollars.
You don't.
If you're not willing to fix if you're not willing to take the first step to fix your problem in a different state, no, then I'm glad that the government would be like, you're not getting federal funds. Because I don't want my money going to your city that you're letting burn.
What they need to do is they need to prove they can help themselves, so that then when they get help from the outside,
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
going to be beneficial.
If you
and
prove,
not just like, oh, we're getting help from these people.
if,
Whoop-de-boo,
if you
thoughts and
prove,
prayers.
if you prove you can help yourself,
Yeah,
yes, that's
Yes.
where federal tax dollars come from.
I'm cool with that.
I'm fine with it. But if you're saying, oh,
Give me money.
we suck at controlling anything, but give me more money after we already gave you more money,
It's nonsense.
no, you're a liar.
Nonsense. No
What are you
business
doing
would
with
work
that
doing
money?
that.
I think they're stealing it.
No business would work doing that. No, any business in the world will not work doing just that kind of program. So how's it going to work for a nation? How's it going to work for a government to do
what
that?
city or state was it a week or so ago that got caught with creating 5,000 fake jobs for people to steal money? I think it was Wisconsin.
Watch your mouth.
While you're looking that up, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to go pee outside, everybody, because we're in my garage.
Oh my God! Thank God for the rain. Michigan. What city though? No, it was just Michigan. Rain makes corn, corn makes whiskey.
Hey, John, you can smoke in here. All right, I'm back. John almost tried to join me. I said, "Get out of here, baby." he's out there watering my grass. It's raining. Thanks, John. I'm just so everybody knows, we're doing this podcast to have fun. So we're drinking a little bit of whiskey. What you got there, John?
So this is New Riff Silver Grove. It's one of their special editions. They do a release on it every year. I love it. I think it tastes great. New Riff, by the way, is in Northern Kentucky. It's a local whiskey. Fantastic stuff.
So New Riff is what we're drinking on, and we got some nice Coors Lights here, and Coors Banquet.
Banquet beer.
A little bit of both. John also has a Celsius Peach Vibe over there.
Oh yeah.
I bet that was delicious.
It is.
And didn't taste like peach though. Or did
No,
it?
it does have a good
Does
peach
it?
taste. Yeah.
Okay. He says it tastes a lot like peach.
It's got the peach to it.
This is our break time, guys, so we're just kind of, bullshitting around right now. So,
Let's see.
we're going
So we
to
got Michigan.
get into that Michigan,
Yeah.
the 5,000 created jobs that were fake to launder money.
Was it $4,277 ghost jobs used to funnel cash to Democrats in Michigan?
Yeah. See, that's happening. And don't get me wrong, it's probably happening somewhere towards the Republican too.
Oh, it absolutely is.
So
somewhere.
I'm not. We're
Both
John.
sides play the game.
Let's
Both
create.
sides play the game.
Let's take it. I'm independent minded. So is
Same.
John.
Yeah.
But I will say that it's hard for me to lean towards the Democrat right now because they're nut jobs. And I'm not saying some Republicans are nut jobs too. They definitely are. So just be careful who you're.
It's all a spectrum.
Be careful who you're voting for because both sides can be crazy. It's true.
Both sides have their good. Both sides have their bad.
Yeah, both sides have
their
their good.
absolute loons. It's literally a spectrum.
It's definitely a thing. Be independent minded. That's an important message.
Think for yourself.
Yeah,
Come
think
up
for
with
yourself.
Your own opinions and
Please
ideas.
do not watch CNN or the stations that are giving their opinion. That's not facts.
No, it's spin.
Yeah,
It's spin. It's absolute political spin every time.
It's getting crazy. So be careful of what you're doing whenever it comes to
And if
collecting
you hear
news.
if you hear something on there, look into it. Do some research. You know, I can Google 57,000 things here in the next 30 minutes if I wanted to. I
You
mean, probably not physically, but you get what I'm saying. Do some research.
do you
Read for
remember
yourself.
Barack Obama
Obama.
or Joe Biden or Kamala Harris
Yep.
saying Donald Trump loved KKK members?
I remember hearing stuff like that. Yeah.
But if you listen to the entire clip, not even close. That's not what he said.
Oh no, it's all cherry picks. You know, it's cropped and edited to get that soundbite.
It's bad.
That soundbite, that sensational headline that's going to draw people in.
So
and well, on both sides of the spectrum, to have a situation, create division.
that's why. That's why I always watch the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is because these news stations are going to clip it out and make it sound bad.
Yeah, because that's what drives views.
What? If somebody wanted to, they could take anything we're talking about right now and make it sound bad.
Oh, absolutely. Easy.
Easy peasy.
Easy.
Not that many people are going to do it. This was the first episode, but I hope people like it enough to maybe want to watch again.
And if you do it, oh well, go ahead, do it. I don't care.
Yeah, go ahead. Maybe more people will be like, I hate that guy, and then more people will like me.
Hey, you know, we know who we are. We're secure in the people that we are. Go about your bad self. It's all good, man. Go about your bad self. Whoever wants to do that.
John, let's get to the ending, the very ending of your Navy career, and what you thought and where you wanted to go from there.
So when I got out of the Navy, I was happy. I was very happy. You know, I loved serving my country. I loved wearing the uniform. But at the same time, I was critical of the job that we did. You know, I was big like, yeah, let's bomb Iraq, blow them up. You know, bomb Afghanistan, blow them up. But I get older and I look back and it's like, man, war's just not where it's at. You know, it's not the thing. You know, if war comes, then let it come. You know, like, and we'll do it. We'll do the thing at that point.
I want to ask you real fast. Do you remember where you were on September 11th, 2001?
Yeah, standing on the bus stop. Standing at the bus stop, which was right in front of my house. My mom came out the door and said, a plane just flew into the World Trade Centers in New York City. And I'm like, oh, that sounds bad. You know, I'm in third grade. I had some idea of the world, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know, my dad and I, you know, we you know, I grew up listening to Rush Limbaugh with my dad.
Oh yeah,
you know, in the
great
car,
guy.
we'd go
one of the greatest voices ever
excellence
on
in
radio.
Broadcasting, really.
Yes.
He is. I mean, he's a gold standard for radio broadcasting,
Oh,
without
yeah.
a doubt.
You know,
But you know, I went to school. We still went to school. Didn't know nothing the rest of the day. The school did a great job insulating us from the atrocity that was occurring. And I got home, and you know, my mom was like, my mom and dad sat me down. They're like, you know, because it's going to be on the TV. This is what happened. This is what it means. And I'm like, oh, okay. You know, that was huge. Luckily, you know, I've seen the videos of the people jumping and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until a long time after. I didn't see any of
You-
that stuff at the
You
time.
didn't even
Thank
understand
goodness.
it if you did see it then, for the most
Yeah,
part.
I mean, I would have been like, oh, people are jumping out of this building, but I don't think I would have put two and two together. Now it's like instant death by hitting the pavement or slowly suffocating and burning. I'm going to jump out of the building too. You know, that's how I look at it now. That hats off to this. It sucks that they had to make that choice, but I completely understand that choice. I'd just rather go than burn alive. Honest myself, but you know, yeah, that's where I was. I was standing at the bus stop in third grade, right in front of my house.
I was in seventh grade at Garfield Elementary or Garfield Junior High School, in Hamilton, Ohio, and I was in fourth period at Mr. Joseph's science class.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was science. I could be wrong on that, but I was in Mr. Joseph's class, And Mr. Joseph left. It randomly left. I think he told all his students that he would be back. And he came back and he came and turned on our tube TV that was still hanging
yeah.
up on the
Oh yeah.
on the wall.
Classic.
Big old tube TV stuck about 40 inches off the wall.
Yeah.
Just kidding on that. But it did stick off the wall. Everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Unless you're younger than me. Uh,
Or me.
or John. But he came in and he turned on the TV and he said they just hit our twin towers. And I think we ended school early that day.
Probably.
I think we went
A lot of
home.
places did.
Shortly after the news had broke.
Yeah.
But he put it on the TV and we watched it. Seventh graders.
Mm-hmm.
A great teacher though, by the way. I don't know his first name. I just know him as Mr. Joseph. But he was a great teacher, and he came in there. He was real. He showed us what was going on. Kind of explained it a little bit. That we had just been attacked.
Yeah.
And went home. And that was kind of it. The next day you got up and you went about your business. And there was, 2,977 people that didn't wake up the next day and go about their business?
Yeah, including 343 firefighters and policemen and Port Authority.
Yeah, there was a lot of people.
Military, FBI. Yeah.
I think I'm correct on the number when it comes to the building. 2,977, if I'm not mistaken. You want to look it up real quick?
Let's see. Yeah.
How many firefighters and first responders?
So it was a total of 2,996 people, and that's including the 19 Islamic hijackers who committed murder-suicide, as it says here on the Wikipedia article. Okay. And as 2,977 victims.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of people. We'll just say minus 19. There was 19 people willing to die.
Well, and that's the thing. These are estimated numbers.
Yeah, there could be more.
They don't have an actual count.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which, that's crazy. 24 years later. Or 23 years later.
24.
24 years later.
Jeff Gordon years later.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon years later. It's scary.
It is.
Because it could happen again. I mean, I think we're in a better position, but at certain points, I'm like, damn, do we let things happen? You ever think about that?
I do.
Like, do we
I think some things do happen because it helps. It helps the script.
I was reading something earlier. It talked about a mass shooting that the FBI knew about. I think somewhere in Texas, years ago, and they didn't do nothing.
Was that Uvalde?
No, that don't sound familiar. I'd have to look it up.
That's the one where the cops weren't going into school.
Well, something happened. Let me see if I can figure it out real quick.
Can't search it like that because it only comes up with Charlie. Why is Yahoo?
Hold on, man. Senator Chuck Grassley had talked about it. Damn it. Let me look it up here.
Chuck Grassley out of Old Iowa.
Yeah. Let me see if I can. Man, that's a while ago.
The El Paso one?
No. It might have not been Texas.
They might have been Texas. Sandy Hook, Parkland.
No. What? None of that. Who the hell shared that earlier?
Columbine.
I mean, that was a big one.
That was, I mean, that was the first we've ever seen in our life. Remember that happening? That was wild.
Okay, I can't find it. You do some research, folks, on your own. There was a shooting that a senator had shared some documents about that the FBI knew about, but did not stop it. They knew about it, but let it go on. That's a problem. You doing some deep search?
Well, so the interesting thing with that, and since we've been talking about 9/11, is a lot of our intelligence agencies
Building
had.
7?
Well, that's a completely different thing. Um, Situation with 9/11, but a lot of our intelligence agencies, they had either tracked or had information on, like Muhammad Atta, the hijackers and stuff like that. But there was such a divide in the intelligence community at that time. Pride between the FBI and the CIA and the NSA.
What?
It's like, we're our own thing, and they didn't share information. And that's the thing. When you look at a lot of the bits of information that they had, if they collected that together, they might have been able to do something, maybe mitigate, maybe not completely stop
This is crazy.
it all, but could have mitigated something.
It might sound crazy, but there's a guy I watch a show of,
Mm-hmm.
and on September 5th or 7th or something, in 2001, kept calling the government, the FBI's, CIA, whoever he could get a hold of, and they said, "Hey, look, terrorists are going to fly planes into the towers," and he said he'd just get turned down. He called it.
Yeah.
He called it.
Well, my big thing too is the day before, the money at the Pentagon. You know about that, right?
The $1 trillion,
Where'd it go?
it disappeared.
And then all of a sudden, pretty much the main part of our financial
I think
system
it was
gets
exactly
attacked.
$1 trillion disappeared just
Something
like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then the cornerstone of our financial institution gets attacked.
Yeah.
I mean that's just, I don't believe in coincidence like that.
It sounded like a payoff.
It could be, and here's the thing, and a lot of people might not know. Some do, especially some of the older folks like my parents. I know my dad does because we've talked about it. We gave those guys weapons
Yeah.
during the Soviet-Afghan War. They weren't Al Qaeda back then per se, but it was the Mujahideen.
We created it.
Pretty much. It was a group called the Mujahideen, and they were the resistance against the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in the 1970s. And they absolutely toasted the Soviets back then. They really did. Especially with the Stinger missile. They dropped a lot of Mi-24 Hinds out of the sky like crazy. But we gave them money, we gave them support, and the fear of stopping communisms. So one of the groups that got in there was Osama bin Laden.
Yeah.
Who was the son of a Saudi, I believe it was an architect.
Have you ever heard that
Lots of
he
money.
had possibly
Yep.
been
Yep.
a
Yep.
CIA kind of affiliate?
Well, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that at some point they crossed paths. Because when you're talking about how we were during the Cold War, and just supplying all these proxies with weapons and ammunition and funding and support to prevent the spread of communism, the growth of the Soviet Union, to cripple them and defeat them, which we ended up doing. The CIA. I actually watched a documentary. A guy said, like, I met with all these people. Like, it was on the TV not too long ago. I saw it. And he's like, yeah, I dealt with all those guys over there, all the major players, Osama and Zarqawi, all those guys, that ended up becoming like Al Qaeda and the Taliban, and the Palestinian Hamas's and Hezbollah's. They're all born out of that and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I absolutely can see a CIA connection because he was a well-funded Saudi, rich, spoiled brat.
Osama bin Laden traveled to America for 2 weeks in 1979.
And when did the Soviet Union invade Afghanistan?
Well, I'd have to look that up, or you just did.
No, I just know.
But that guy came here for 2 weeks. When did the first?
Does it say what 2 weeks?
When was Desert Storm, everybody? 89, 90?
89, 90, 91.
Okay.
Yeah. When does it say what time, like month at least, of when he came?
He came here to meet with Abdullah Azam, a Palestinian Islamic scholar, was a college professor. What do you know?
Because the Soviet-Afghan War started in, I think, November or December of 1979.
Kind of makes sense then, don't it?
And here's the weird thing, you know, for those of us that remember the "we do not negotiate with terrorists" bit that George W. Bush did. After the Soviet-Afghan War, we propped up the Taliban.
Oh, yeah, we did.
We supplied them. We supported them all the way through the 80s and 90s, and you know they became the ruling arm of Afghanistan. And really, what happens?
I mean, I don't know
Here's
anything
the
about
crazy
anything.
thing. They weren't trying to negotiate. They were saying, show us proof and we'll give you this guy. He's here. They said he's here. The Taliban didn't want that smoke at first. They really didn't want to deal with the military coming in Afghanistan.
What we're kind of penciling together here is in 1979, Osama bin Laden came here to the United States for 2 weeks, was talking to an American scholar, which is a college professor.
Yeah.
And possibly was building a situation. Possibly.
Could be.
I'm speculating, and that's my opinion. But if we're going to put something together, kind of tack it together, draw the line, when did you say that war began?
December 1979.
Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. I don't see a month on whenever he came here, but
Christmas Day, December 1979.
That guy was
That I
here
have to
before
look up
Christmas.
the exact date.
He was definitely here before Christmas. There ain't no doubt about it. It doesn't show a month. That's just my speculation, my opinion.
Oh, he was likely here before Christmas for sure.
It sounds like something that could be a little bit crazy. But I do think, in a certain sense, that we build some of these things for military to fight.
Makes money.
It does. No,
Military.
it don't. Well, it
Yes,
makes
it
money
does.
for the military.
It
Industrial
makes money
complex.
for a lot of businessmen too.
But it doesn't make money for our country. It puts us in debt.
It does. It does, because when we go and fight, we have to borrow.
How many
money.
times have you heard that being in war makes money? No, it fucking don't. It costs me and you money, but it makes rich people money.
We don't matter.
I know, but we're the majority. That's what's crazy.
We're the majority.
If the
but we still
majority
get conned
becomes
every
too
fucking
damn
year.
poor, the rich people won't have no money either. That's one thing the rich people don't understand. If the poor people are too poor, you ain't got no money either.
No, that's true. But yeah, we're the pawns. That's it.
It's just getting crazy. John, is there anything else you'd like to say about the Navy?
Go Navy, beat Army.
Go Navy, beat Army.
Absolutely.
Um,
No, I really appreciate my time in the Navy. I was really happy.
They
to
gave
get
you a
out.
good head start.
They gave me a great. I mean, good pay, medical care. I mean, it wasn't always the best medical care, but
Real
it was free.
real quick. Young men that might see this,
And women.
young men and women, my bad. Go join the military. Protect your country. Learn what it takes to be strong and move on in life.
You
Okay,
get
you have
such
to
a
do
great
it.
skill set for life out of the military. It teaches you so many things. And that's the thing. Do your 4 years. Do your 4 years and get out, and now you have college paid for. And guess what? You made some okay money during that time, and you were taken care of, and things like that. You
could be in a position to where you're
my
not.
resume is nothing but trades, and
Yeah.
that's because of the Navy.
Yeah.
Everything I did in the Navy was trades related. And guess what? There's more than that in the Navy. That a lot of guys electrical stuff, but it's more of the fancy electrical stuff. Kind of like along with what our buddy Mitch does.
Hey, look, there's certain things that I dislike about the military,
logistics.
but the opportunities that are there within our military
It's huge.
are huge.
It's huge.
Young
You get paid
people,
to learn stuff.
Look, if
cool.
things were to go to shit and you had to get drawn into a war, I'm sorry, but that's what you signed up for.
Yes.
But at the same time, if it doesn't happen, you have an opportunity to come out of there and make a successful life for yourself.
Yes.
So
And,
so
you're
get
gonna
in
get
there,
hurt.
young folks that ain't sure what their path is yet. Go join the military.
If you don't know what you want to do,
branch
join the
of the military.
Yeah.
There's multiple branches. We got the Navy, the Army, the Marines,
Air
Space Force,
and
Air Force.
Space Force. Yep. And then don't write off the Coast Guard. They're not technically Department of War. They're Department of Homeland Security. But listen, the guys on those ships,
they do
the same exact job I did
and women.
when I was in the Navy.
We need Coast Guardsmen and women.
Yes, we need.
We absolutely do.
We absolutely need
So,
coasties.
young folks, please, if you're not going to
Consider it.
go be a doctor or anything you need to go to college for, and there's only one thing I think that's absolutely needed to go to college for, and that's possibly being a doctor. There might be a couple more, but there's other things. You can learn to do things with your hands and build this country and make it better without going to college.
Absolutely.
You don't have to go to college.
College ain't for everybody. That's the thing. We got college pushed on us. I mean, I did when I was a kid. But college isn't for everybody. It's just not.
Well,
and that's
not for
okay.
everybody.
That's cool. That's fine.
College has become a little bit like taxation. A little bit of a scam. A little bit. There are certain things that you should go to college for. But
the price of college rapidly increased once the federal government backed student loans.
Yeah.
Just like the price of houses went through the roof when the federal government backed home loans.
Yeah.
That's the problem, that federal government got involved in something.
Yeah. And every time
the price went through the roof.
Every time the federal government gets involved in something, we all get
Screwed. That's it. There's nothing else to say. We get screwed.
Yeah. They take our money from acting like they're helping.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Some of the worst words you can hear in the world is, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." Do you know who said that?
I don't remember, but I've said it plenty of times. Ronald Reagan. Yeah, you're right. I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
Yep.
Which means they just plan on taking more of your money. It's crazy. I don't understand it. Why the hell have we allowed ourselves to get here? First off, I'm sick and tired of Congress and senators being able to pass laws that none of us want passed. They're just like, oh, you know what? We got voted in, so let's do what we want. It's crazy.
It's because it makes them money.
What should happen is if they go to pass a law, there should be an election, a quarterly election, to pass, for people to vote on what they think should be passed.
So that's the problem. We're a representative government. We're a republic. So by us casting our ballots for a senator or a congressman during November or any special election, at that point that we're giving them
the permission.
We're giving them that permission at that point.
I know.
And that's the cornerstone of a representative government.
Yeah, that's junk, though.
It can be, but the reason it's junk, it's human nature is why it's junk.
Well, it's
the
junk.
idea, I think the idea
you know what?
is fantastic.
It could be fixed by having term limits.
Yes, term limits would be.
And then I wouldn't be talking about what I'm talking about. But
Yes.
whenever there's people in there for 40 years and
That's
all
the
they're
problem.
doing is trying to make money for themselves.
Politics should not be a career.
It should not. It should be.
It's public
The
service.
president is
It's
allowed to
public
be president
service.
for 8 years, max, 2
Yeah.
terms. That's all any representative should
all
be.
being an
Not
elected
saying-
official is to me should be public service.
I'm not saying you can't go on being a rep of the new one, of the new
you can
elected
still be
official.
involved.
You can be involved because maybe some people need
You
some
can go
coaching.
find another office.
And
to
if
run
you're
for.
good, you should be able to try to help somebody
your
else
time's
be
up as a senator.
even better
Go
than
run
you.
for governor. Your time's up as senator. Run for president.
Could you imagine?
Or be a vice president.
Could you imagine? Yet you can be vice president as many times as you want. I don't think it should be that way, but let's say J.D. Vance said, you know what, I don't want to be actual president. I just want to be vice president. And somebody else came in and was like, okay, I'll be president, you be my vice president.
While vice presidents can steer initiatives and all that stuff, and they break ties in the Senate and things like that, it's a very important position. I'm really not discrediting it. They really have no power.
J.D. Vance has no power.
That can be why you can be vice president as much as you want.
The only power J.D. Vance has is, which is why I think he got picked, is being able to have a good conversation with Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. I think that's what he got picked for. He's a great speaker.
The vice president
the guy's a great speaker.
If that guy gets his head blown off, we have continuity of leadership.
Look, I don't want that because
purpose of the vice presidency.
I do think that JD is the future of our country.
I think he's the darling child at this point.
Well, first, the guy's a great speaker, he reminds me of me and you talking.
He's relatable. He was a Marine. He served. And that's something I did. I'm not all peppy rah rah.
Well,
military people are the greatest thing ever. You know that I don't think that. I think it's important that to be a leader in this country, that you have served this country.
Not everybody.
That you are willing to die for this country. I think that should be a prerequisite for our leadership in America. I really do.
Not everybody agrees with our thoughts.
No.
And there are plenty of things we don't agree on. There's plenty of things me and John do not agree on. Okay,
we argue about stuff all the time. All the time.
And it's fair.
I love it.
And it's fun. And we're here sitting today talking casually, having a good time, drinking some beers, talking to you guys.
What?
J.D. Vance and even Donald Trump speak so casually that remind me of a normal person.
It's relatable. That's the thing. The standard common American, which is what I think we are.
Yeah.
They understand what they're saying.
Look,
their messaging reaches to their base.
They say what they want to say. And
it reaches outside their base, because that's the thing. Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, Green, whatever party you want to call yourself.
You hear a Democrat talking?
You understand what they're saying. You might not agree with it, but you know exactly what those two guys are saying every time they open their mouth. I love that.
Me too.
Talk is what it
sounds normal.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody you're going to run into at the bar. It's flowing out of
somebody's mouth. It doesn't sound like a Democrat that only
the mealy mouth type. Yeah.
I can't believe this, and I feel so bad for the traditional Democrat Party. Mm-hmm. I feel so bad for them because the Democrats politicians have decided to latch on to the 5% of lunatics in this country.
Yeah.
The politicians.
The John F. Kennedy brand of Democrat Party, I can get behind that 1,000%. I actually kind of support that platform in a lot of ways.
What did you say?
JFK.
JFK, yeah.
JFK.
Reagan was the Donald Trump of today.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think even Trump's better than Ronald Reagan.
I think in ways he is.
Yeah, he does.
But Ronald Reagan was a normal guy,
Ronald
he was an
Reagan,
actor, dude.
So was Donald Trump. They're the same person, reenacted.
In a way.
But Donald Trump is a little more.
He's a little more to the bone.
To the bone.
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan was able to act a little more.
Ronald Reagan was tactful,
Yeah.
And you could tell that in the way he spoke. President Trump, the one thing he doesn't have is tactfulness. He does not know what that word means.
He doesn't.
And
he don't even give a damn about it.
That's what really gets under everybody's skin.
Yeah.
He literally just says what's on his mind. Consequences be damned.
I like it.
He really does. That
is
what
and
he does.
He says it. He says, I don't really give a damn if this hurts me or helps me.
He's like, "This is how
That's
I feel."
great.
Yeah,
We should have that.
I like that he speaks his mind. Sometimes it gets him in hot water. It definitely does.
Well, it does. Yeah.
But other times it's
but
like,
that's okay.
But at least I know what he's saying. I'd be like, he's saying exactly what he thinks, and so at least I know where he stands on something.
It's okay to. First off, I could understand if you're in your first term, and you don't want to hurt anything.
Yeah, play your re-election chances.
But at the same time, at the same exact time, I think if you being yourself and being spontaneous and talking to everybody in the world every day, multiple times, how the hell do you ever hurt yourself? You ain't hurting yourself.
I mean, the more you talk, the more of a chance you say something that could be hurtful to
Say
yourself.
It.
You know,
say it. You know what?
You increase your chances of saying something.
You talk enough. You talk enough. If you make a mistake, you can walk it back.
You can. Yeah.
You talk so much. You can say things, and if they're unpopular, you can say, I heard from the people.
You just keep talking, and it gets buried.
You can literally say, I spoke, and I heard from you people. It's unpopular.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that.
Or you just talk some more, and you bury whatever it was that you said. Just keep giving them sound bites, and that eventually falls off.
I would come out, and
I'm saying, there's multiple ways to deal with it.
I would come out, and I would literally listen to the people. And I would say, look, I had a thought. I had a direction. I talked about it to you. You said you didn't like it. We're not going to do it.
I like that. I like that concept. I do.
You know.
I do.
And that's one thing.
The people elected these people. We the people. They need to listen to us.
They need to listen all the way around. If they're passing a bill and we're calling their phones and we don't like it.
From president down to your town councilor. They need to listen to us.
Yeah.
We put them there.
Yeah.
We can remove them from that.
We can remove them. You know.
You can recall an elected official.
You can.
I don't know about.
I don't know those.
I know congressmen for sure, and I know local stuff. I don't know about president or governor. Yeah, no, you can recall a governor. I don't know about president.
You got to have a certain amount of votes. Whatever.
I think president has to be a congressional thing.
I mean, I would like to look that up. Look it up, John. What it takes to recall an elected official. I'm going to go pour John another glass. He's out. Very good, John.
Thank you. No, the president can't get recalled. He has to be impeached. I know that.
But it takes, 60.
I know for sure it's a state and local thing. I know there's a faculty, there's a function of recall.
I mean, I feel like I've heard about it, but
Congress.
It might not be in the United States. You might be thinking about a different country.
No, we have it. No, members of Congress cannot be recalled by voters because the Constitution does not allow it.
You want to know what will never
change?
So
it's more of a state and local thing.
Okay, that's one of our biggest mistakes from our founding fathers. You should be. Well, no.
They might not have foreseen that.
Well, no, that got enacted by Congress somehow, and we didn't vote on it.
No.
We didn't vote on them to be able to be kicked out from the people. They voted on it for them to not be able to get kicked out. That's why I don't like it. That's why them being able to get the behind the doors looks into the stocks, and they're making millions, will never be changed because they're the ones who have to vote on it.
I mean, the policies they make affect the economy. I don't think they should ever be able to own stocks.
No, they don't.
It's like
that's the thing. When they rob money,
player can't any professional sportsman or woman or whatever the hell you are, dog, I don't care. you can't bet on professional sports when you're a professional sportsman or woman or dog or whatever the hell you are.
When
Why
congressmen,
is that? Because it
congressmen,
corrupts.
congressmen and women senators, they come in there, they have our money,
Yeah.
okay, and then they go in there and all of a sudden they're worth 10, 20, 30, 100, 200 million
Yeah.
dollars.
Bull crap.
You're stealing money from us.
That's lobbyists. That's fraudulent investments. Because every policy they make, everything that comes out
So-
of the House of Representatives, the Senate, and gets signed by the president affects the economy in some manner, in some district of that economy.
There
You should not be able to invest in a dang thing
are
if you're an elected
435.
official.
435 members of Congress. What, 100 members of Senate? That's what, the one, I know, yeah, I think 100, so it's like what, 53 to 47 in the Senate. So yeah, 100 senators,
It's
430,
100 senators for sure, and then
430
the VP is the tiebreaker.
is the president of the Senate. So we'll say 101. And then 435 members of Congress. If you have 535 people in our country, let's say all of them went in there with $100,000 net worth, and now all of them are worth millions. They stole all that money from us.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
And it's one thing to raise money to get your next campaign going. I get that. That's the business.
Well, that
right?
shouldn't be part of your
That's
net
the
worth.
business.
That should be
And
part of
no,
your campaign.
Exactly that. Yes, but to serve America should not be a profitable thing.
Look,
And look, listen. When I got out of the Navy, right, and here's the weird thing about Navy military pay, right? We get a base pay. That's all that's taxed.
yeah.
So, honestly, being in the military,
You
your
get taxed
pay-
in the military?
Yes. Yes, you get state and federal tax. Well, depending on the state you are, but yeah, you get state and federal tax, FICA and Social Security and all that stuff, right? Just like it's a job, just like everything else.
Well, I thought
You know,
there
and you
were
have
some
to-
exemptions for.
State-wise, yes. You know, there's certain states that don't have income tax. There's certain states that don't tax military income.
Yeah.
Whether it be active or retired or whatnot. You know, they're out there 1,000%. But right, we have our base pay, right? That's what you get for being, you know, that's your salary, right? Because it's all
Yeah.
salary technically. Not technically, it is salary. You get paid by the year, not by the hour. Because if I got paid by the hour when I was in the Navy, boy, man, I tell you what, I'd be like a multimillionaire, no doubt about it.
Yeah. You'd been
If I got paid
more
by the hour,
likely to go work
holy
more.
smokes.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
You know, because I mean, pretty much it was all overtime. All right, it was all overtime. Weekends and holidays too. So give me that double time, baby. So you know, we're you know, base pay. You know, let's say $36,000 a year. That's all I was taxed on. But then I get
You made
$1,800
$36,000 a year in use.
base pay. But then you factor in basic allowance for housing, and that was $1,800
Okay.
a month.
Oh, so your housing's covered.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah.
good then.
And then you don't have to pay anything for insurance.
That's good. You know
They
what?
take
that's
a little
like-
bit of money
So
out
you
to pay-
had
when you're on
$36,000 a year in cash
When you're
to
on
spend.
ship,
To spend.
yeah. When you're on ship, you know, they take $300, $400, $500 out every month to help pay for the food that gets brought to the ship, so we can stock the food, right?
So you don't have to pay for food on a ship either.
So you,
I mean, you should.
it's weird. You get it's called BAS, Basic Allowance for Subsistence. Subsistence. I'm sorry, not substance. Subsistence. Which when you're on
So
shore
you had
duty,
a per diem.
when you basically yeah, you got per diem in a
Yeah.
sense, even though there's also per diem in the military, but
Yeah.
that's a different thing. But they would deduct that basic allowance for subsistence out of your paycheck to help pay for food stores on the ship. When you're on shore duty, you get to keep it, and that's what you buy your groceries off of.
Yeah.
Which at $346 a
But
month.
on the ship, you're there.
Listen, it was like